Okay, good morning you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Kicking off part 3 of the moving vlogs. I'm really hoping for a productive and good day today. You can't really see from this angle, but we have made a lot of progress that I am excited to show you guys. The pod did end up arriving yesterday, which I was hoping to film that entire process, and it was so horrific. I just couldn't even pick up the camera. And I am going back and forth on like how much I want to share on that, just because I don't like talking negatively about companies, but that kind of threw the entire day off course. And then I hired a TaskRabbit to help get the couch inside because I tried to lift it with my boyfriend and I just couldn't, to be honest. I thought I'd be able to, and I didn't measure the doorway here because the entryway into our living room is so wide. I just didn't think it'd be a problem if they were able to get it out of my DC apartment, and it didn't fit. I am honestly, I just know if bookstore movers were here, they would have been able to get it in the house, no problem. But I feel like the universe has tried to get me to learn my lesson with that couch at least 3 times now, and I haven't listened. So it is on Facebook. I don't know why my voice keeps going in and out, but I posted it on Facebook and I messaged this woman because she was selling a West Elm sectional couch, and I feel like that would be easier to get in the doorway, and she messaged me that she was actually interested in my couch. So I'm hoping we can just do a little switch. Mine's a little bit more expensive than hers on Facebook, but I, to be honest, would just call it even if she was willing to swap. So I'm hoping to hear back from her in the next couple of hours, because I feel like that could be the absolute best case scenario. To be honest, I really can't afford to reinvest in a couch right now, and I feel like that was something I was really proud of myself for in DC, was like investing in really nice stuff and having this like beautiful home that I felt really good in, and then to like get everything here and it's just like horrible. I have less money than I've had in a while just because I'm kind of between jobs right now. It just, yesterday felt like a lot, and I know it's all gonna be okay. It just, I don't want my vlogs to come off like moving across the country is easy, because it's certainly not. I just haven't been filming the moments that aren't easy. But like I said, I'm hoping to have a good productive day today. I did unwrap all of the big furniture pieces yesterday just because I needed to like see some stuff start to come together. So I'll give you guys a quick little house overview, and then I think I'm gonna dive into my closet boxes and maybe some of the kitchen as well, because I feel like those are the 2 things I need to feel a little bit more functional. So I have some exciting plans this afternoon, but I have a few hours before I need to get ready for that. So we're gonna unpack a little bit first. Jumping in really quick to talk to you guys about this week's sponsor, Sienna. I've been testing out their King memory foam mattress for a little over 3 weeks now and can confidently say it's amazing. I'll put a time lapse on the screen of me unboxing everything, but it was super easy. It only took me like 10 minutes and I was able to do it myself. There are so many things that I love about Sienna. They have a 10-year warranty, 180 sleep day trial, and is the sister brand of Nectar. And they're the choice of over 2 million happy American sleepers, so you know you're gonna be in good hands. I've also found their costs to be much more reasonable comparatively, because their brand is built on the belief that everybody deserves a good night's sleep. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the exact one I have linked down below, but I really can't recommend it more. It's incredibly comfortable, it's the perfect amount of firmness, and it even has this motion reducing foam in it so that when somebody else moves, you don't feel the movement, which is an incredible selling point between me, my boyfriend, the dog, and the cat. I feel like someone is always moving throughout the night, and I consider myself a pretty light sleeper, and I've been sleeping through the night excellently. I wanted to show you guys their website quickly. It's super user-friendly and easy to navigate. They have a ton of really helpful graphics, comparison charts, information on how to unbox the mattress, and FAQs. I'll be sure to leave a link down below, but their website made the entire mattress buying process so much easier. Like I said, I'll be sure to have everything linked down below. Thank you again, Sienna, for partnering with me on this video, and let's get back to the vlog. That took way longer than I was expecting, but I feel like we came to a somewhat decent outcome. So I rearranged a lot of these racks because the way that they were set up originally just wasn't functional in my opinion. Also, this is obviously just my stuff for the time being. I think a lot of this could fit better in a dresser. I just threw everything in here to get it out of boxes. I think at some point we'll probably consolidate to have both of our stuff in here, but again, for the time being, this is what we're working with. Very similar setup to my last apartment. I feel like these container store bins were the right move because even if we do get a dresser, I feel like all of them could fit up here and utilize that space a little bit better. But same layout as my last closet. I have bathing suits and shorts, underwear, socks, bras. I have my athleisure stuff and sweats. And then over here, this is my least favorite section, which is why I kind of threw it around the corner. But this is all of my dresses and some of my more colorful clothing. Obviously, there's not a lot. And then over here, I have my black and white clothing, pants, hamper, and shoe rack. And a lot of this needs to go on Poshmark, to be honest. Some of these pants just don't fit me anymore, or dresses aren't my style. They're things that I bought, like this little jumpsuit I bought. I've never had the occasion to wear. It's super cute, but I, at this point, don't even know if it fits me. So I need to go through this at some point, but that's a project for a rainy weekend. And then a super quick overview of the house. I feel like this room is starting to come together. You can get a better view from over here. I picked up this rug on Facebook Marketplace. It was an incredible deal. The pets have kind of destroyed it a little bit, but I'm hoping I can go through and kind of de-pill it once they're done getting their scent all over it. Nightstands from the Potter here. I put my old mirror in here. Bedding is Brooklinen. On this side, we still have the temp dresser and all of my t-shirts. That was like the one thing that I couldn't find a good spot for in the closet. So I think at some point we want to get a little bit shorter and longer of a dresser, but that's definitely not the first priority of stuff we need to buy. And then coming over into this like random pets room, we don't have a ton in here clearly. This is just very temporary. Office is still leaving something to be desired, but I think this is the general layout we're going with. The audio cut out here, but I was basically just showing you guys the current status of everything. Not a ton changed in the bathroom. And then coming over to the main spaces, I set up the dining room just to have somewhere to eat. There's a lot of boxes everywhere, as you can see. That's most of the stuff in the kitchen and stuff for my office. And then coming into the living room, you can see here where I thought the couch was gonna fit, but for the time being, just have this smaller setup. The plants are still doing well. I put the fireplace screen up and my TV. And then coming into the kitchen, this is where I'm just getting ready to unbox everything and start unpacking. I didn't even see you there. Took a quick break to bring stuff out to the recycling because it comes tomorrow. So we actually did consolidate this quite a bit, even though there's still a lot of boxes. But everything is now out of the boxes and at least in the room that it needs to go in, more or less. I don't think I'll have time to organize this until later today, but it's nice just to have everything at least out and ready to be put away. This is all kind of random, same with this pile over here, but I feel like other than that, things are starting to kind of come together. The vision for in here is probably like a 5x8-ish rug, and I'll put my desk and desk chair that's on the way on there. I like having this little cabinet here, and then I was thinking of getting a big mirror here. Leo's litter box is probably gonna move in there, and then his food is gonna go elsewhere. But for the time being, I think this is becoming relatively organized. I need to think through where I want to film videos knowing that the light is coming in this way, but I need to mess with it more. I'm sure a lot of this will change throughout the next upcoming weeks. Oh, is there a fly? You can get it. I know you can. Leo is on the mission, but I think we're in a pretty good place for the time being. Finishing up getting ready, I am going to this little SF Girls meetup, which I am really excited for just because I desperately need friends here. I haven't seen anybody other than my boyfriend since I moved, so I feel like it'll just be good to like get out of the house and be a little bit social. So I'm just finishing up getting ready. I don't know if this is the vibe outfit wise, hair wise. I'm gonna go like light on the makeup, but just like a slight little touch up. And then I think I'm gonna stop by a Trader Joe's on the way just to pick up some like drinks or a snack, something that's like easy to share, I guess. So I'll show you guys the final look and then check in with you guys when I get to Trader Joe's. I've been going back and forth between hair up and hair down, but I think I'm just gonna leave it down for the time being. Quick outfit of the day, same everyday jewelry. I'll leave all of the earrings, bracelets, and rings linked down below. Top is from Princess Polly, jeans are from Abercrombie, and my sneakers are from Princess Polly as well. Back home from the meetup. It was actually a lot of fun and it was exciting to meet even like a few people that I feel like I clicked with, because I am in like desperate need of socialization. I'm super extroverted, as you guys know, so just like only really knowing one or two people has been really tough for me, but I'm really glad I went. I feel like it was good. It pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit. I'm back home now, obviously, and trying to figure out how I want to lay out the kitchen. There's actually so much storage in this kitchen. It just, all of it's a little bit off. Like some of the drawers don't necessarily fit things that would make sense to put there. So I'll show you guys the starting point and then we'll do some time lapses. This is the before. I have a bunch of stuff piled up here. I think we have some baking sheets under there, which I'm thinking pans will make more sense there, and then maybe pots there. Anything under here, I honestly have no idea. This needs some work. I thought originally that I would put all of the like coffee machine stuff there, but I'm thinking maybe we have like a little coffee section, or maybe one of these drawers becomes coffee stuff and then cups there, because I feel like between bowls and plates, we actually have enough to take up those two sections. I don't know if I can, yeah, I can't really comfortably reach this. Obviously my boyfriend would be able to, but that is gonna have to be like stuff that we don't reach for every day, or I don't know. What's up there is beyond me. That will be none of my business because there's just not even like a shot I can comfortably reach that without getting on the counter. And then in here, I don't think there's anything in there or there right now. Cleaning products under the sink. I think I saw like an air fryer in here. I think that makes sense. I'm designating this as junk drawer, and then I don't know what's over here either. I think we have like drinks in here, so a bunch of teas. I have some water drops left over. There's coffee grounds, liquid IV. That is not super functional in my opinion. And then I threw this in here earlier, but I don't think that this makes sense. I think this originally I wanted to go in here, but we have another one of these here. No, here. And this makes sense for like silverware, but then nothing else fits here other than silverware. So gonna get creative, and then I'll show you guys the after. Believe it or not, I think we're making progress. I am really happy with the way that this is turning out. It does look a little bit like spread out, but these plates just don't stack well on top of each other. And then if you put these smaller ones on the bigger ones, if you need a bigger one, it's just kind of a pain. And we have so many cabinets, I feel like it just makes sense to spread them out. And then all of that makes sense. I might put some serving platters up there with the salad bowl that we have. TBD on that. This cabinet, is coming together, but I think I need to make a home goods run and get some more glassware. That was something that I was just not able to bring with me because I didn't pack it in time. So I definitely want to get some more like everyday glassware for there. I'm thinking mugs on that second shelf, and then third, maybe like the thermoses and reusable cups that we don't reach for every day but don't necessarily want to get rid of. I don't know yet. And then these I also feel like make the most sense for what we're working with. So as you can see, it doesn't like really fit in super well here. Josh had the idea of using this small container for chopsticks, which I think is a good idea. And then there is a method to the madness here. So regular silverware, straws, anything back here is drink related. So some straw cleaners, wine openers, tea strainer. This section doesn't fit a lot, but in my mind, these are one-use products that you don't use every single day. They're also a little bit more specific than the general spatula spoon, which is here. Also the measuring cups, because they don't fit anywhere else. Smaller measuring cups, chip clips, things to cut things with. So pizza roller, shears, and then the peeler, things to measure meat temperatures with, or I guess any temperatures. Cheese board accessories, and then my knife covers back here. So it looks a little chaotic, but there's actually a method in here somewhere. Is this a method everybody's gonna want to stick to? I'm not sure. But for now, I think this does make sense. My next wave of inspiration is hit. I'm thinking cutting boards in here, strainers and baking sheets in there, and then pots and pans in here. Here, TBD, we have our like aluminum wrap and plastic bags in here, and I think that still makes sense. Not entirely sure about here yet, but I'm sure, I mean, all of this needs to find a home, so I think that makes sense though. Good morning. It's like noon. I had a couple of calls this morning for like freelance projects and then like some random catch-up calls with people. I am running errands now, nothing too exciting. I just needed some small things for the house. I wanted to get a pair of sheets for our guest room. We need like dishwasher pods. I want to grab some painter's tape to tape out where the couch I'm considering swapping would fit in our living room. It has a pretty large lounge section to it. I think it should fit no problem. I just, after everything I've been through with couches, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So I want to tape everything out, and then I also want to tape out the rug size for my office. I think a 5x8 is what I want, but again, I just want to tape everything out. A 4x6 might end up making more sense. And then just a few miscellaneous things that if I see them, I'll get them. I kind of want to wait to go to some like thrift antique stores. I don't want everything to be from Target and World Market and TJ Maxx, even though I love those stores. I feel like there's so many unique places here. I kind of want to wait. But I'd like to get a container to hold our coffee beans and brown sugar by the Breville machine. So I'm at TJ Maxx now, and then I'm gonna run across the street to Target. And then I have some work I need to do this afternoon, but wanted to take a little break to get out of the house now. been a day or two since I picked up the camera. I am trying to think of what you guys missed. Somebody did come pick up the couch. It wasn't the person I thought I was gonna do the direct swap with, but she was really nice. I definitely sold it for less than I wanted to, but it just like had to get out. The pod got picked up yesterday, so I feel like that's all closed and done. I have a deposit down on another couch from Facebook Marketplace, which, depending on the order of vlogs on this channel, you guys might already have seen, or I might just like tack it on to the end of this vlog. But I ordered a chair for my office, which we're sitting in now. It's from TikTok Shop, actually. I had seen this a bunch on Amazon and Wayfair and other cheaper sellers, but I think TikTok Shop is doing a bunch of intro coupons and deals to get people shopping on the platform. So I ended up getting it for less than 50 bucks. I want to say my total was like 42 or 43 with shipping. So I'm gonna put this together quickly, and then I wanted to go over all of my final moving costs. I needed a second set of hands to get the cushions aligned to screw in the bottom part, but I think it actually looks pretty good in here. As you can see, it's cleaned up in here, but it's definitely still very minimalistic. I taped out what a 5x7 rug would look like, and now that the chair and the desk are there, I'm wondering if a 6x8 would be better, or if this is like just the right amount of space. I feel like it'll come down to whatever rug I find first and which size it's in, but that's my general idea. Keeping this here, I think. I could also see it going there or there, but originally I wanted to get one of those big arch mirrors here. I can see Leo's little footsteps. Let me let him in. I was also thinking of recreating the gallery wall that I've had in my last two apartments, so maybe back there, or I guess even here. I don't know, the cream walls are really throwing me off. It definitely makes the space feel very warm and cozy, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe a more colorful rug will tie everything together. It's just been throwing me off. But regardless, it feels good to have at least somewhat of a functional space. I can't remember if I have given you guys an update in here. It's a little bit chaotic. Up there is a box of stuff from my desk at my 9 to 5, and then some random like camera equipment, technology back there. All of my coats and blazers, bags, suitcases, safe, another little Leo toy, and then my ring light and my portfolio. I wanted the base furniture to be pretty neutral so that I could always reuse it, but I'm excited to add in some colorful accents through like the rug and decor and stuff like that. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. I feel like the lighting in here is pretty good. I guess I'll see when I'm editing. But like I mentioned before I started putting the chair together, I wanted to do a breakdown of how much it costs to move across the country. This was something that I kept trying to look into, but I think it's just different for everybody. So I wanted to share at least what my costs were. There's definitely more expensive and less expensive ways to do this, but for my situation, this was just what made the most sense. First, apologies if it's super echoey in here. I've tried to put as many like rugs and blankets out as possible, but we just don't have a ton of furniture to absorb the sound yet. And then two, I'm looking at everything on a spreadsheet on my computer, so I'm probably gonna be looking off to the side for majority of this clip. The biggest expense in my move was the pod. That was what I chose to transport my stuff from DC to San Francisco. I got quotes from probably a dozen door-to-door movers, and that was in the 8 to 9K range, which was just out of my personal budget. I think driving this stuff myself on a U-Haul or something similar would have been cheaper, but I just couldn't do that with Leo. He doesn't really do well in car rides, and I just don't think it would have saved that much money. They break up their charges into 3 separate transactions. So the first one was the transportation fee, which was $2,910.42. The second fee is for the delivery to your original address. So for me, that was in DC, which was $437.70. I think they were supposed to charge me for a lock. I don't think they did, which I believe was like $14 if you bought it through them. Maybe there was like a discount thrown in. I'm not gonna question it. And then once everything gets to your location, you have a final pickup fee, which was $133.70 for me. The total for the pod ended up being $3,481.82. Like I mentioned earlier, the pod was picked up yesterday and I haven't heard anything about any random additional charges, but I'll keep you guys posted if those come up. I don't expect any. I don't even know what they would charge me for, but it ain't over till it's over. I actually remembered this being closer to 4.5 thousand instead of 3.5, so that was good to see in the spreadsheet. But to be honest, the service was pretty bad. If you're not in a rush for your stuff or you live in really residential areas on both sides, you might not run into the same issues I did. But I am going to be contacting them to try to get some money back for items that were damaged. They were a couple days late on the initial drop-off and pickups, and I feel like I'm owed a little bit of money back for that. So keep that in mind, but I do feel better knowing it was $3,400 instead of $4,400. Moving on, the next biggest expense was my car. I chose to ship it again because Leo really doesn't do well in the car, and I didn't think he could physically get through 4 days of driving, and on top of that, the hotels I think would be really scary for him. So I again reached out to a couple different people and I ended up getting a quote for $1,250, which was supposed to be door to door, and that seemed really reasonable to me. We actually drove my boyfriend out here in the beginning of the year, and between the hotels, gas, food, tolls, random things, I would assume we were pretty close, if not over to that $1,250 mark. And that was us driving 4 days straight. So $1,250 seemed pretty reasonable to me. I had them pick up my car at my dad's house in Virginia. I figured that would be a little bit easier than downtown. And they were a full day late. They asked for another $100 because there was stuff in my back seat, which to be fair was in the contract. But when I talked to the owner on the phone, he said I could fill the car, didn't mention the $100. So that was ultimately my fault, but I felt like it was a bit of a low blow after being a day late, and it seemed arbitrary. Maybe there was something legitimate in there with like weigh scales and stuff like that on the way, but it seemed like the driver just wanted another $100, to be honest. But because he was a day late, I was already in California, I felt like my hands were kind of tied, so I just Venmo'd it to him. The driver also had us meet him pretty downtown San Francisco. Our area that we live in is pretty residential and would have been exponentially easier to drop off the car here. So again, it just felt like he didn't want to do what he was hired to do, making us drive like 4.5 miles to him. It wasn't a big deal, it's not door to door. The car did get here really fast. I think it took 5 days once they picked it up, which again, when we drove straight, like 10, 12-hour days, it took us 4 days. So I guess I would recommend it. I just felt like, again, the customer service was so incredibly rude and like jumping through unnecessary hoops the entire time. I know I'm rambling too long on all of this. I just feel like the context is so important. But the next biggest expense for me was my flight. I paid $498.80 for a first class seat from Dulles to SFO, which I am not one to usually book first class. In fact, I've never booked first class. I just figured it made the most sense knowing I was traveling with Leo. I don't remember the exact pricing, but I want to say the first class seat was roughly $250 more than the economy seat, but it did include 2 checked bags, seat selection obviously, there were meals on board, and 2 personal items, which was great because I was able to check 2 big suitcases for my everyday essentials, things that I wanted to have before my car or the pod would arrive. I did have to pay a $100 pet fee when I got to the airport to have Leo with me, but again, I felt like this was just the least painful experience for him and myself, and I know people check pets all the time. I would not be able to do that, so being able to have him physically with me was the only option as far as I was concerned. Those were the 3 big expenses besides like our security deposit and application fees and stuff like that, but I did want to cover some of the smaller random expenses because I feel like they add up really quick, especially when you're concerned about money. Living in DC, I needed a street permit for the pod, which was $55. I did get help loading the stuff from my DC apartment to the pod, and I worked with bookstore movers for that. If you're watching this video from the DC area, I cannot recommend them more because it was a collaboration on my YouTube channel. The first couple hours of the move were free, and it didn't even take that. So that part was covered by the collaboration, but I did tip them obviously for all of the manual labor they had just done. So they stayed for like an hour and a half and I tipped them $50. I, to be honest, don't know if that was appropriate. I really struggle with movers. I feel like that's such a gray area. Whenever I've looked it up online, some people say $5 to $10 an hour. Some people just say go based off percentage. So if anybody feels comfortable sharing how much they've tipped their movers, I would greatly appreciate it. Some smaller expenses. I grabbed a pack of 4 AirTags, which I think were a great purchase for tracking both of my suitcases, the car, and the pod, and that was $88. Bought a package of moving blankets, which was around $50, a mattress cover, which was $10, probably like $30, $35 in just tape for all the boxes. I got my boxes for free from Facebook Marketplace, which I feel like is a really great tip if you're moving to check there. It's a great way to reduce your carbon footprint. It saves a lot of money and you get to meet people in your community. So I feel like it's just win-win. And then I don't have an exact number, but I'd say I spent roughly $150 on vet appointments, medicine for Leo, a portable litter box, and just random things to make his experience a little bit better. I think every airline's different. I wasn't asked for his updated rabies shot. I know some airlines do. I had paperwork with me just in case, but they didn't end up asking for it. Or there were a few more small things thrown in there, but that brings my total to around $5,800. My goal was to be as close to 5.5 as possible, and I feel like I did pretty good at that considering there were some random like last minute fees that were added on. So if you're thinking of moving across the country or doing a really long distance move, hopefully this was helpful. I know how overwhelming and stressful it can be, so I'm rooting for you. If you want the company that I used to move my car, just shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll send you the link to them. I just don't know if I would publicly recommend them, but if you've seen this video, then you've seen my disclaimers, I guess. Like I said, very overwhelming, so I'm really looking forward to just feeling a little bit more settled, having a routine, having more steady work, and just feeling a bit more at home here. As far as the rest of the day goes, I want to get a few more work things done, especially now that I have this nice setup and can comfortably work here. And then I think I'm gonna do a big Trader Joe's run. We are pretty much out of all of our groceries and I want to make dinner tonight, so I think that'll kind of round out the day. But I finished up a decent amount of my work. I still have a few things I'd like to get done today, but I am starving and need lunch and we truly have nothing left. So I'm gonna go run to Trader Joe's really quick. Want to grab like some stuff for breakfast, lunch, and dinner tonight. Again, we have nothing. And I made this like vodka cottage cheese pasta a couple of months ago and I just remembered it existed. So I think I'm gonna make that for dinner tonight. So I want to grab stuff for that, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they have the butternut squash mac and cheese. If they have it, I'm gonna get basically as many as they'll let me without feeling too guilty about taking it away from other people. So that's the plan.